In modern day pro wrestling, it is extremely difficult to come up with a new, exciting and innovating finishing move. Virtually every move imaginable has been used as a finishing move at some point, and this makes it hard for new wrestlers to stand out. It's also a major issue that moves that may have been iconic and protected 2 decades ago are now seen as transitional moves. This means that if a new wrestler was to introduce that specific move as their finisher, the fan base would have a difficult time in accepting that move as a legitimate, credible finishing move. Join us now as Wrestlelamia looks at 10 iconic finishers that wouldn't get over today. Be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Also check out our new website, Wrestlelamia.com. Number 10. The Sleeper Hold. The Sleeper Hold is one of the most well-known submission moves in pro wrestling. The hold was used by legendary Rowdy Roddy Piper as a finisher, and there have been a number of variations of the move used as a finisher over the years. But Piper is probably the wrestler most associated with the move, maybe him and Ted DiBiase. In modern day WWE, the move is often used as a basic submission hold in a match, and is even used as a standard rest hold, so the wrestlers can catch their breath and even communicate when it comes to upcoming spots. If a wrestler was to reintroduce the move as a finisher today, it'll be extremely hard for fans to invest in the move, as a repetition of the move has been butchered over the past 2 decades. Notably, Dolph Ziggler attempted to introduce the move as a secondary finisher around a decade ago, but it sadly struggled to get over, and it wasn't before long that Ziggler retired the move as a finisher. Number 9. Belly to Belly. It's unlikely that a belly to belly suplex will ever become obsolete in wrestling. The move looks good and is considered relatively safe. However, a wrestler using the move as a primary finisher ever again would be a daring task. The move was last used as a finisher when Bayley decided to use the move and rebrand it the Bayley to Belly. Her version was perfect for her character, but she quickly realized that when she changed gimmicks, the move didn't really work well as a standout finishing move when portraying any other character outside of the hugger. If the move was to be introduced as a new finisher, then a modification of the move would be needed, or ultimately the move would fail to get over with a modern day audience. Number 8. KO Punch. When the Big Show introduced the KO Punch as a finishing move, it was a bold yet smart choice for the former champion. It goes without saying that a 7-foot-tall, almost 500-pound man punching an opponent is a surefire way to win a match and obtain credibility. But the problem is that the move simply wouldn't work for anyone else. There are obvious question marks surrounding how the move is even legal in WWE, as it depends on WWE's stance on closed fists when it comes to punches. Due to punches being a very standard part of any modern WWE match, if the move was used as a finisher by a new wrestler, fans would have no idea it was a finishing move. It took some time for fans to accept the move as Big Show's new finisher, and it had to be presented and protected with care and diligence. There is no way a wrestler in modern day WWE would be able to get the move over, and we've seen examples such as Lacey Evans with the women's right, and as expected, this move looked completely flat upon execution and nobody took it seriously. Number 7. The Worm. The Attitude Era was a time in which more comedic finishers were able to get over with the audience. The Worm was a finisher of Too Cool member Scotty 2 Hotty, and the finisher, whilst entertaining and always delivered a huge crowd reaction, it's a rather lackluster move. The move is basically a bulldog followed by a funny dance, only to be followed up by a fist drop. The move was perfect for the respective time, and we saw when Scotty used the move in the Ruthless Aggression era that fans weren't as keen on the infamous move. If that move was used as a finisher for a wrestler today, then it would have to be solely presented as a comedic move and nothing else. Trying to book and present the move as credible would be a difficult task for WWE. We've seen wrestlers such as Otis use a similar move on the WWE main roster, but Otis was extremely smart in having a backup finishing move which allowed him to win matches in a serious and legitimate manner when it wasn't time for a comedic moment. Number 6. The AA. John Cena first debuted the AA back in 2003. The move was initially introduced to rival Brock Lesnar's F5, yet the move seemed to work perfectly for the Doctor of Thugonomics, so he kept the move for the next 2 decades. The move is the best possible move for Cena, as it's a safe variation of the popular Death Valley Driver maneuver. If Cena was to retire the move and a wrestler from either the WWE main roster or NXT started using the move, it'd be unlikely that the move would ever receive a substantial reaction. The move is firmly associated with Cena, and if anyone else began to use the move, it would look kind of awkward, and it would forever be compared to Cena, which is something a wrestler would always struggle to overcome. Number 5. The Big Splash. Using a big splash as a finisher was previously a smart way for super heavyweight wrestlers to deliver an impactful finishing move. Wrestlers such as Mark Henry and Viscera both used the move as a finisher, and it was a great fit for them as they managed to make the move look devastating. The move was also used by the Ultimate Warrior, and his version of the move worked because he was able to get significant height on his leap, which made the move look awesome upon execution. The big splash, similarly to other moves, has become a staple of matches, and the move is seen as a transitional move from one move to the next. If the move was to be used by a wrestler today as a primary finisher, then a noticeable modification would be needed to be implemented. This modification may come in the form of delivering the splash from the top rope, or it could be something brand new and unique. Without this modification, the move would struggle to receive a reaction, as the fans would be left underwhelmed and very dissatisfied. Number 4. The Figure 4 Leglock. In terms of famous finishing moves, the Figure 4 Leglock is no doubt one of the most celebrated and widely known submission-based finishers. The move is mostly associated with the Nature Boy Ric Flair, and Flair has won countless titles with the trademark move. WWE have had a difficult time in giving the move to anyone else, as fans just seem to reject the notion of someone outside of Flair delivering the move. When Flair passed the move on to The Miz, fans loathed the idea, and it didn't help that The Miz's execution of the move was incredibly clumsy. WWE would even attempt to give Flair's own daughter Charlotte Flair the move, and Charlotte made the sensible choice of offering a modification and variation of the move, as her finisher is appropriately named the Figure 8, and it sees Charlotte push up into a bridge for extra leverage. This has managed to work, and the move is seen as one of Charlotte's more superior moves, and this is predominantly down to Charlotte's unique and memorable approach. Number 3. The Leg Drop. Hulk Hogan is a man who made the leg drop one of the most protected finishing moves of all time. Hogan's leg drop, whilst basic as a finisher, was given credibility thanks to years upon WWE protecting the move. Decades on from Hogan's era, and the move is used as a standard basic move in most matches, and the idea of a wrestler using the move as a finisher is very hard to comprehend. Unfortunately for fans of the dreaded leg drop, the move is just too basic to be a modern day finishing move, and whilst the move may work if a super heavyweight was delivering it as a finisher, it would still be a tough task to ask fans to accept and react positively to the move being delivered. Number 2. The People's Elbow. Now, it's hard to imagine anyone other than The Rock delivering the People's Elbow. The People's Elbow was truly a move that only The Rock would have been able to get over, as the Great One delivered what was in essence an elbow drop with so much charisma and aura that it was somehow presented as one of the most legitimate moves in the company. A move such as the People's Elbow would never work in today's WWE, as fans dissect the logic of the move within seconds, and even if a wrestler tried to replicate the style of move, it wouldn't be too long before the live audience began to boo the move. When The Rock has made sporadic appearances over the past decade, he has still used the move, and for the most part, fans have been okay with it, but the sheer idea of a wrestler taking a similar approach to their finishing move is something that fans simply aren't clamoring for. And number 1, Sweet Chin Music. One of the most overused moves in modern wrestling is the super kick. A super kick can be found in virtually every pro wrestling match, and a wrestler using a single super kick as a finishing move would be difficult to pull off. Shawn Michaels is mostly known for introducing his version of the super kick to WWE, as his version was known as Sweet Chin Music, and if HBK debuted today, he would struggle to get the move over because everyone on the roster uses his finisher. The only way a wrestler in a top company such as WWE might be able to get over the move as a finisher is if a blanket ban is issued on super kicks. If super kicks are then exclusively kept for finishing moves only, then a wrestler may have a small chance of restoring the infamous move back to its former glory. But there you have it, folks. 10 iconic finishes that wouldn't get over today. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.